Welcome back. Now, we go to the profit after tax growth. Cadbury also led. Like I did say, we are not looking at companies within the same industry, but all of them are manufacturers. 538.12% growth in the profit after tax for one quarter. Then GSK 181.64. So the way you make use of this table is that look at all the metrics, the indexes that we use, turnover, profit after tax, earnings, then you should be able to lay hold on companies that has good representation in all of them. Then make sure that you make your own selection, not necessarily following the selection of everybody. If you want to make money in this market, don't follow the herd. Don't follow general information. Gather information. Sit with this information and bring out your strategy. Okay? If you are able to do that. And aside from these figures are guide. Because these figures, the companies already had gone past these figures before the figures are even, before they were released to the market. Okay, this is already May. By end of June, which is roughly 1 month and a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks more, this result would probably be getting a younger brother. Younger. Not necessarily still, because again, we have to
match with
second quarter, look at what the first quarter
the first half,
and then first half, and then we'll be able to project into what the possibilities are in the third quarter. The GSK did not only Cadbury GSK did not only perform well in turnover, that is the top line. They were able to bring this to the bottom line, which suggests that what was recorded in the turnover was not fluke.
Yes.
It was real.
It was real.
And original. Okay? And then we could see that maybe we pick from Fitson. Okay, Okomo Oil is also still there, recording 80% growth in profit. Fitson 98.37% in profit. Bagger Paint. Is there anything happening in Bagger Paint? Because Bagger Paint and the CAP operate in the same industry. Okay, so now if I'm to pick Bagger Paint or CAP, which will be the one that you think I should pick?
I will use price.
Okay, now I will tell you what the price of Bagger Paint is, and then I will tell you the price of Bagger Paint. The price has actually gone so high. Looking at it from a price of 6 naira 20 kobo, as at last Friday it was 7 naira 70 kobo, and the indicators are actually saying that it has been bullish, but from where it is now, as far as indicators are concerned, it is a little bit risky entering there, because this price needs to relax a little bit before it becomes viable. In the case of CAP, the same trend actually. It means that it suggests that something is happening in that industry. But when you are talking about price, why the price of a bagger is about 6 naira or thereabout, the price of CAP is as at last Friday was 21 naira 90 kobo. Now you know the price.
That means we can get more units of budget than what for
but it
unit.
It is not only price.
But the only thing I really cannot lay my hand on it. I know that CAP is doing a bonus too.
Okay.
I think that would be a factor that would consider me, to make me to consider CAP over Bagger Paint.
Okay, now we have told you, you can say, and what I will sincerely suggest is to go to our website, stocksng.com. All these are there. Go to our YouTube channel. All these are there. So you can sit with this and take time to understand them. Not that alone. Anna was just telling me that someone called from Greece. Okay, so how did he get access to this that we are doing? Very simple. Get Lagos Television app. Install on your gadget. And then, wherever you might be, US, UK, You have your friends over there to just log on to the app, and you will have access to all that we are doing. Let us move from profit after tax now to earnings. Because again, for those who were not there last week, I will tell you what earnings. Aruna, tell us what earnings are. You are the guest here.
That is what they call it bottom line.
Bottom line, that is profit.
Turnover minus all the associated, that is cost of sales, administrative expenses, finance costs, then tax. Then what now remain, that is profit after tax, divided by the outstanding number of shares
Right.
that is outstanding against the company.
Okay, so and what that suggests, Aruna actually said it last week. Let me just remind you that if a company, peradventure, should decide, maybe the board has decided that they will be distributing all the profit after tax to all the shareholders in the organization for that period, how much that will accrue to someone that has one unit of that company's equity. That is earning per share. What is the significance of this, and why do you think this figure is important?
Because you cannot actually stand alone. One, you have to look at the growth. Two, you have to relate it with the price. Because the bigger that it is relative to the price, the better. That is what the earnings sheet will portray. But it gives an idea that actually these earnings that the company is churning out, this is how much that you can get, because it is even on the earning per share that the percentage of it is paid as dividend. As dividend. So the bigger it is, the better the dividend payout.
But we have seen situations whereby companies will go and pay more than their current earnings as dividend. Even at that, what they will be doing, there are two things. They will be dipping hands in the reserved earnings, which was the earnings that were not used,
that were
in
not
the previous
paid,
years.
and they were kept.
They were kept. They either would do that. If they do not do that, the next thing they will do to give you that kind of ridiculous dividend will be inimical to the growth of the organization. Maybe they will have gone to borrow or sell their assets, convert it, and then pay dividend. But the best company is the type, or the best companies are those that keep accumulating earnings. They are saving it, because in Abionomics, which is the understanding of the behavioral pattern of equity by Abayomi or Babulujo, in the long run, every earnings will be distributed among the investors in the company. True or false?
True.
Okay. If that is the case, we could say, because again, if your profit after tax grew by a certain percentage, it is also with the same percentage that your earning per share must grow. Okay?
Yeah.
Provided
if anything, whether there was a dilution,
yes,
or whether there's an addition.
Okay. So for the first quarter, Cabri 538.12% growth in earning per share, GSK. All right. But I don't know. Let us now bring this to Naira and Kobo before we move to the next table. Now we look at Cabri at a price of 10 Naira 85 Kobo. The earning per share, though it grew by 538.12%, it was because the earning in 2021 was very low, 13 Kobo. Now will you say that 82 Kobo against a company of 10 Naira 25 Kobo? If we should analyze this earning, we need to analyze it so that we still look at whether this would be profitable going forward. 82 Kobo times 4 will give us 3 Naira 28 Kobo. Aruna, if Cabri is able to sustain this, it will be a kill buying it at this price.
You see, 13 Kobo to 82 Kobo is like I was blind before, now I can see. 538%. This was recorded as at the time that the result was released. Like I said, Cabri closed 12 Naira 35 Kobo on Friday, and it was still on bid, which means that the market is actually appreciating that performance. And the same performance was what drove that price down to where it is coming from. So it's just a reversal of what happened before.
You see, this program is damn too good. You will please help. Let many people come to listen to it. And let me say this. All this we are doing will be repeated at the next meeting for avid shareholders, Association for Avid Shareholders. I will intimate you when the date will be. At that, we'll have enough time. We'll be able to explain, and then we will see ourselves flesh
to flesh,
not tube to
that you cannot touch.
And some people will say we don't have electricity, and I will say go and buy generator. Just make sure we don't miss this. Let us now look at GSK at 5 naira 85 kobo. It's 16 kobo. Of course, the growth was this huge because there was 20 kobo loss
Negative before.
last year. So when they have 16 kobo annualized, it comes to 64 kobo. Will that be good enough at the price?
I want you to annualize because this 20 kobo have been paid from this 60 kobo. So it's actually 16 kobo plus 20 kobo, which is 36 kobo. They actually made 36 kobo.
But what is left is 16 kobo. That is what you have to consider. All right. So that 20 kobo was a loss before. So they recovered from it. They added 16 kobo to it. But it is 16 kobo. So is it not 16 kobo that we will annualize, or you want us to analyze that?
Anyway, let's annualize 16 kobo.
It comes to 64 kobo for a price of 5 naira 85 kobo. I think they will need to improve on this with their second quarter before we could say that GSK is good.
Chances are that they are going to do that.
But the market is already adjusting positively to this.
Yes,
Let me leave Champion Breweries. I don't really want to talk about Champion Breweries because we could see that Eniken has bought the majority shares in it. And since Eniken is also the owner of Nigerian Breweries, there is every possibility that going forward, Nigerian Breweries and Champion Breweries will come together.
I think what I'm afraid of is that deal was consummated at 2 naira 60 kobo. So if there's going to be a mandatory tender offer, it's going to be at 2 naira 60 kobo. So any price above 260 in the market makes me afraid.
Okay, we now look at that of CAP. CAP is 67 kobo. So 67 kobo times 4. Annualized 2 naira 68 kobo against a price of 21 naira 90 kobo.
That is fine.
It's fine. Okay, let's look at Baja Paint at 3 naira 31 kobo annualized. It comes to 1 naira 24 kobo. I think that's also not bad.
It's not bad.
Fitting at 55 kobo. I will stop at Okomu because of time. Okay, 55 kobo times 4. It gives us 2 naira 20 kobo against 8 naira 15
and
kobo.
if they are doing about that, I think what they'll be able to give will be better than the 50 kobo they gave.
But you see, that might not be so because they have given bonus. And so that will dilute their outstanding number of shares and depress the earnings, except they are able to do more than they are doing.
But I think
now.
it's 10% anyway.
Yes.
1 for 10. That is 10%.
So, notwithstanding, Fitsin is a good buy any day. Now, let's look at Okomu Oil before we go to PE ratio. Okomu Oil has 9 naira 96 kobo times 4. It gives 39 naira 84 kobo. Okay, against a price of 147 naira. Is that not good result?
If we come to that, I think we'll be seeing this in the neighborhood of 200 now, because you can see how.
But in Nigeria, Haruna, it is not earnings growth that determine price growth.
No, it has worked for Okomu. This Okomu, it started for 5 naira, and they paid 5 naira out of 8 naira they made for 2020. So why the earnings growth for 2021 continue, the price was reacting to it until the final.
Haruna, before we leave this table, though we don't have much time on our hands, we still have about 4 slides to go. Livestock used to do well. Nigerians still do eat chicken. Could it be the cost of production that is making us to see livestock feeds?
Yeah, even the turnover was impressive 8.3%. There was a corresponding 9.7% increase in cost of sale, and it was finance costs that actually dragged them at a whopping 310% from 55 million to 229 million. That was what wiped out all their performance.
Wow. But I think it's a stock that somebody should keep tab on.
If they are able to clean their books of that finance that is bringing that cost.
Okay, you see, we are leading you well, and I'm satisfied within me. We come to earnings yield, relationship between the price of a stock and its earning. Cadbury also still led 8.01%, Okomo 6.77%, Fitson 6.78%, and Dangote Sugar is showing forth here. Of all this, which one will you readily recommend, Aruna?
Well, if I ever say Cadbury was not available up till last Friday, but Okomo is readily available. Fitson is also readily available.
Oh, but you have not said which one I should pick there. You just said, you just talked
for
about
Okomo as actually, it's not actually, it's trading 170 as we speak, and it has been marked down for dividend, but Fitson is still trading cum script. So I would have said Fitson.
Fitson. Okay, we come to PE ratio. I told you last week, PE ratio is the number of years it will take you in earnings payout. That is if the company decides to give you all
Everything.
the earnings. The number of years it will take you at the current price at which the stock is selling, the number of years it will take you to recoup your investment. The lower, the better. And what you should do here is to divide it by 4, because this is just the first quarter. So now the projection and the assumption is that the organization will be able to sustain this level of performance. In most cases, it is not always like that. Sometimes they do better. Sometimes they perform lower. Sometimes they come lower in second quarter, and by the time the third quarter comes, they perform, they beat the first, the second quarter projections and all the rest. But we must always have the relationship between earnings and current price as a guide. So everything we are saying here, everything we are doing is a guide. It is not as if we are saying that this is, and the market has got a mind of its own.
Definitely.
Nobody can dictate to the market. So it's got a mind of its own. But it is always better for you to know what you are doing at any point in time. Even if what you are investing is 10,000 naira, it is expedient for you to make sure that there is security. And the only way there can be security for that amount you are releasing to play in the stock market is when you know what you are doing. In this case, whatever you get in the PE ratio, because it has to be analyzed, you divide it by 4. The lower, the better for you. Cadbury, if this is analyzed, it will give us something in the region of 12.49, in the region of 3.1. Which means Cadbury is still
very
provided they are able to
maintain this trajectory
level. Okay, Okomo is 14.76. Analyzed comes to 3.69. It is still relatively cheap. And then we come to Fitson. Okay, it's 14.79. It gives us something in the region of 3.6. All these results are good. I think what this first quarter is telling us is that we can actually double in stocks. Don't you think so, Aaron?
Of course. I will even call it double. Take position with an expectation.
With a taking position, with an expectation. God bless you. Let us look at gainers. Last week, Champion Breweries, 32.54%. Okay, International Breweries, 32.5%. Cadbury, 32.20%. Fitson, 23.07%. Nigerian Breweries. I didn't see Mayor here.
I think it's tired. I think it is, or it's resting to take off and another. You know, because there was nothing driving it.
Nothing.
Because I look through their portion of NGS website. I did not see fantastic result. or maybe news that what I've said is driving it. So I know that to get to a time that will get tired.
Let me say this without prejudice. If you want to know the way an equity is performing, go and look at the owners. I won't talk much. I did say a few things as per mayor on our association WhatsApp group. There are things I will say on television that I will not, there is a limit to what I will say on the television. But I can say certain things on the WhatsApp group because it is a private group. And there are things I can say at our workshop and seminar, like because again, the shareholders will need to know a lot. Go and look at the shareholders of Mayor, and that will tell you the force or the factor behind the price growth, even when there are no positive results. There are times that some people could just say, well, let us just buy me this equity. They know what they are seeing there. The company does not necessarily need to have any result, but the truth of the matter is that somebody else knows why he is buying. Okay, but you must of necessity. So for any institution that really, for any stock you see, no matter what percentage that the price is doing, when you cannot hinge the growth of the price on any fundamental or good report that the organization is bringing, if you go to invest in it, you are on your own. Okay, so what stock do you think one should consider this week, Aruna?
Well, if you ask me, I would have said Nigeria Breweries.
All right.
Because why it touched 74.90 and came back to close 70. Since it has touched 74.90, there's possibility of going back to stay close at 74.90 during the week. And Presco has not declared their
first quarter
payout, and I think there's going to be a 1 for 10. So we see there. Then NACO also pay 40 kobo and 1 for 5. The FTSE we have been talking about, and probably Access.
Okay.
Why will I say Access? I think, we say it like the way we're talking about FTSE, nobody look at it. The day Access is going to take off, we'll come back here to say, we said it.
And I'm telling you, the takeoff is going to be like when a jet takes off.
It's just going to catch up with those that they consider to be in the same class as at that time. Okay,
to round off, we look at losers. Last week, the market was led, talking about losers now, by O&O, 11.75% decline. I thought the market was expecting their result, and then there was this renewed interest.
The market is very funny. After the meeting, they told the market that after the board meeting, they are going to release the result to FRC before releasing it to the market. But they also wrote and tried to explain the possible effect of COVID-19 on their earnings and the protracted shareholder dispute. That was what the market saw, and some of the
is in a class of its own. I want to say a very big thank you to you for staying tuned, and particularly if you took the time to invite someone to watch the program alongside you. If you did that, God will bless you. I want to say a very big thank you to the management of Lagos Television for creating this platform for us. God will bless everyone in the management. And then the staffers of Lagos Television for their cooperation every time. I say a very big thank you to you. Aruna, for your time, I say thank you. Please make sure that you call Aruna. Don't just call him. Make sure you open an account with him. He will treat for you. Okay? And my team, I say kudos to you. You are the best. I've got to go. But we'll be on the radio Monday to Friday on Metro 97.7 FM here in Lagos. Look at our website for the best of information possible. Until next week, when we shall be coming your way again, I remain yours sincerely. In wealth creation, its accumulation and preservation, Abayomi Obabulijo. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your week.
This is the future. This is the time to do more. Give more. Help more. Be more. A future where more compassion and more empathy will make us more human. A future where more technologies and more digital platforms will help bring more people to safety and prosperity. Welcome to the future. Here, you can be more with us. Access, more than banking.